Hello everybody, this is Tim here again, here with another movie review. I actually want to go ahead and do the Exorcist series. It was either that or Saw, and I'd much rather do the Exorcist series. Now I decided to do these Exorcist movies out of order because I really want to watch Exorcist 2, because I've never seen Exorcist 2, not all the way through, because I've seen bits and pieces and clips. Exorcist 2 is notoriously known as one of the worst sequels of all time, and I'm gonna agree. I just watched this for the first time. It's no surprise I give this film a 0 out of 4. This is a terrible movie. This is an atrocious sequel to The Exorcist. It doesn't even fit as a sequel to The Exorcist. The director said he didn't even like the original film, and I think this movie was directed by a guy named John Borman or Booman or something like that. And he didn't even like the original film, and you can tell when you watch this, he is not interested in making a sequel to The Exorcist. So I tried my best to judge this film on its own. I tried to give this film every break I possibly could. When I kept hearing how terrible this film was, I figured it was probably, kind of so-so, and I watched it for the first time now. This film is freaking bad. Linda Blair comes back as Reagan from the first film. She was great in the first film as a cute, average little girl. Here, she's older, and she is filled out, and she is hot. And they know it. When they do this film, they definitely make it as soon as you see her, she's wearing these really short shorts, and it doesn't look like she has a bra on. They're focusing right in on that ass, so they know what they're doing. And they play up the sex appeal here. They know she's hot. There's this new priest character in here, Father Lamont. I think this actor is the only one in the whole film who does a good job acting-wise. Even Linda Blair is bad here. And Louise Fletcher is here as a psychiatrist. She's bad here. Everybody's acting here. There's some good moments of acting to decent moments, but for the most part, it's bad. And the reason is not really because of the actor's acting ability, because Linda Blair is a good actor. I've seen her in other stuff, and she is good. But everybody is mostly bad here except for the guy that plays the priest, and it's not because of the actors. Nobody's acting should be judged based off this film, honestly. It's the script. This is one of the worst scripts I have ever seen. It's as bad as Batman and Robin, if not worse. It's one of the most horrible scripts I've ever seen for a movie. It just makes no sense. 99% of this, it's not that the movie's so artsy that it's hard to follow. It's just that it makes no sense. I'm okay with leaving stuff up to interpretation. This film just goes out of the way of just having no logic, period. Pretty much, the movie takes a totally different direction than the first film. It's almost like it has multiple different ideas, but they have nowhere to take them in the script. Pazuzu's like a split personality inside Reagan or whatever, and you find out she's psychic. And there's this guy, Kokomo or whatever, who Father Merrin saved, and it's almost like half the movie's a prequel to The Exorcist. And he's played by like James Earl Jones, I believe, who's like the voice of Darth Vader. And Mufasa, I think he was Mufasa in Lion King. But anyway, so... And then there's Louise Fletcher, who's a psychiatrist who wants to heal Reagan because she thinks it's all like a mind thing and she was never possessed. And Ellen Bernstein or whatever, or Bernstein, who played the mom, isn't in this film. I didn't really dig the film. I didn't really attack the film for that because she didn't want to come back. I don't blame her if she read this script. God help her, because this is bad. And it goes through like this thing about how science and religion can merge to make, one whole thing that can beat the devil, or whatever. And that's kind of a cool idea, but it never really comes to fruition. There's a lot of ideas here that are interesting, but they never really come together. And it's really weird, the relationship between Reagan and the priest, because she looks like she's like a high school student in this movie. Or at least that's what it seems like she's playing, and the priest guy is much older, and it seems like she has the hots for him a little bit, like they're kind of playing it up like a sexual relationship, like they might get together, but then later on it almost seems like a father-daughter relationship towards the end of the movie, and at the end of it, the evil demon Reagan Pazuzu, in the form of her, tries to like seduce the priest, and he like jumps on her and it's like he's getting ready to bang her, but he ends up snapping out of it and he grabs her and he's like choking her and he has to rip her heart out in order to kill her for some reason. It's never really explained. And Linda Blair is like getting choked and she's like hollering Pazuzu. I was laughing. And this movie is just freaking like weird for weirdness sake almost. Like when it starts out and the credits are like rolling over, there's like this over the top like scream and yelling, and I was laughing. I gotta confess, I was laughing. Sometimes the weirdness is just like so trippy that I just applauded the movie because it was so friggin' weird. Like just random locust stuff for no reason. Like we find out in this movie that the demon from the first film is like Pazuzu, the god of the demon of the wind of locust, or evil demon locust thing or something. I don't know. They make a thing in this movie of having like a character dilemma where the priest has been touched by the evil and people who are touched by the evil have the habit of almost being seduced by it in the film. And it's like a battle of faith or whatever. That's an interesting idea, but it's stuck in between. That's one of the other ideas that's stuck in between this whole plot of like science and religion coming together and all this crazy stuff. And just random scenes that it feels like the movie was like hacked up to death and everything. I know there's a couple different versions of this film. This one I watched is almost incomprehensible. It is incomprehensible. And at the end of the film, like Reagan does this swirling thing like this, like the Kokomo boy did, because she's psychic and it somehow can fend off the locust. But how does she even know to do that? And she has mental links with characters in the film that's not really established that she would have, and so she knows things that it's never really explained how she would know things. And the machine that they hook people's brains up to, that they psychically link their minds together so they can see stuff inside each other's heads, it doesn't really make sense how it works. It's just like a light bulb that flashes off in their face. Towards the end of the movie happens, and Louise Fletcher tells Father Lamont, I think's the character's name, to take Reagan out of here and take her to safety because, people won't understand what happened here because Pazuzu's been killed or whatever. And he just walks off with her, and why did she just go with him? Why did she just stay there for no reason? I guess he's like taking her to a church or something, some holy ground where she'll be safe or whatever. I guess it's just like to leave it open-ended a little bit, so in case they want to do a third one. Thank God the third film is much better than this, because it is. This is terrible. This is horrible. It's not that it's just a bad movie. The script here is probably the worst I've ever seen. For a sequel to a masterpiece like The Exorcist, one of the greatest films ever made, and probably the greatest horror film ever made, this is laughable. This is a zero, clearly. It doesn't even make any logical sense, at least the cut of the movie I watched didn't. If you like the movie, that's cool. Personally, I'll probably never watch this again. Repossessed with Linda Blair back in that makes fun of The Exorcist. It's a better sequel to The Exorcist than this. Even as a standalone movie, this is horrible. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again with the next review.